Imagine if a grainy, long-forgotten piece of police dashcam footage could tell a story more chilling than any ghost tale ever whispered about Disneyland. What if, hidden in the static and shadows, was a truth that no urban legend could ever match? A moment when fantasy collided with tragedy, and the happiest place on earth became the setting for a haunting reality? The tragic death of Deborah Gail Stone was long a hushed legend, spoken about in low voices by cast members and locals. But the recent recovery of a 1974 police dashcam video has dragged this dark chapter back into the light, forcing us to confront the real events behind the myth. Suddenly, the story is no longer just a rumor, it's a documented moment in time, preserved on flickering tape. The footage is raw and silent, capturing emergency lights flickering against Tomorrowland's fantasy backdrop, a jarring collision of reality and illusion. The camera's unblinking eye records the surreal contrast, the bright playful architecture of Disneyland, now bathed in the cold glow of police lights, as if the park itself is holding its breath. There are no screams, no narration, just the methodical response of police officers moving with quiet urgency. The magic of Disneyland is shattered in a single haunting moment, replaced by a somber silence that lingers in the air. The absence of crowds, the empty walkways, and the muted colors all serve as a stark reminder that tragedy can strike anywhere, even in places built for joy. This tape transforms a piece of morbid folklore into documented reality, grounding the story in undeniable fact. What was once whispered about in the shadows is now illuminated by the harsh light of evidence, forever changing how we remember that night. It's a stark reminder, behind every smiling character and perfectly timed show, there are powerful machines, complex systems, and real people at risk. The illusion of safety and perfection is just that, an illusion, maintained by the unseen work and vigilance of countless individuals. The existence of this footage, unearthed nearly 50 years later, reveals our fascination with the cracks in the perfect facade. We are drawn to these hidden stories, compelled to look behind the curtain and confront the uncomfortable truths that history tries to bury. The dashcam is the ultimate crack, a glitch in the matrix of joy, proof that even in the happiest place on earth, tragedy can strike in an instant. It's a ghostly echo from the past, reminding us that every story, no matter how magical, has a shadow. To truly understand the tragedy that unfolded, you first have to understand the stage itself, the world behind the curtain, where magic and machinery meet. In 1974, Disneyland unveiled America Sings, a dazzling new attraction that quickly became the park's latest marvel. The innovative carousel theater rotated guests through 6 different auditoriums, each one bursting with the sights and sounds of American music, brought to life by more than 100 animatronic animals. It was a technical marvel, a carefully choreographed ballet of moving walls, rotating stages, and synchronized performances. Cast members like Deborah Stone were the unsung conductors, orchestrating the flow of people and the magic of the show. Every 45 seconds the entire theater rotated and hostesses had only a brief moment to welcome a new wave of guests, keeping the show running like clockwork. The attraction's novelty drew enormous crowds, eager to experience something never before seen. But behind the scenes, the ride's complex design created unique and often invisible dangers. One of the most perilous features was the narrow, shadowy channel between the moving theater wall and the fixed stage, a space never intended for human presence yet always just a step away. For the young cast members, many of them teenagers, this intricate environment was their daily workplace. Their every move was dictated by the relentless mechanical rhythm of the ride, leaving little room for error or hesitation. The focus was always on spectacle and efficiency, on dazzling the crowds and keeping the lines moving. But the hidden risks backstage were rarely discussed, overshadowed by the show's seamless magic. In the summer of 1974, as families flocked to Disneyland, no one realized just how unforgiving that machine could be, or how quickly a moment of magic could turn into a nightmare. For guests, the illusion was perfect, every show seamless, every transition invisible. But for those working behind the scenes, the margin for error was razor thin, and the consequences could be devastating. The stage was set for disaster, and no one could have predicted just how high the cost would be. Deborah Gail Stone was just 18 years old, a bright and ambitious recent honors graduate from Santa Ana High School. She was known for her kindness, her dedication, and her dreams of making a difference in the world. That summer, she was determined to save up for college, hoping to study either medicine or education. She hadn't quite decided yet, but her future seemed limitless. To help pay for her education, Deborah took a summer job at Disneyland, the happiest place on earth. For many, working at Disneyland was a dream come true, a chance to be part of the magic, to meet people from all over, and to create memories that would last a lifetime. Deborah was assigned to the brand new America Sings attraction, a dazzling show filled with music and animatronic animals. Working there felt surreal, almost like she was living inside a storybook, until the night of July 8, 1974, when everything changed. That night, the park was alive with the energy of summer crowds. Deborah, always diligent, greeted guests with a warm smile, ushered them to their seats, and prepared for the next show. She was always mindful of the strict 45-second countdown between performances, moving quickly and efficiently behind the scenes. But during one of the theater's rotations, something went terribly wrong. Deborah found herself in the narrow, dangerous gap between the moving wall and the fixed stage, a space meant only for machinery, not people. No one knows exactly how it happened. Did she lose her footing in the rush, step back by accident, or try to take a shortcut between theaters to save time? The details remain a mystery, haunting those who were there that night. The machinery was relentless, designed to keep the show moving, with no emergency stop button within easy reach for the unimaginable. In those critical seconds, there was nothing anyone could do. As the theater rotated, Deborah was caught and crushed by the unforgiving mechanism. Her life ended in an instant, just feet away from families settling in for a cheerful show, completely unaware of the tragedy unfolding behind the scenes. The dream job that had promised so much joy and hope became a nightmare, hidden in the machinery's shadows, leaving a scar on Disneyland's history that would never fully heal. In a place built for laughter and wonder, tragedy struck with cold mechanical indifference, a reminder that even in the happiest places, darkness can sometimes find its way in. Reconstructing the accident reveals a chilling truth. The ride's innovation was also its fatal flaw. The gap Deborah fell into was just 19 inches wide, a deadly pinch point as the theater rotated. There were no safety sensors, no breakaway walls, nothing to stop the machinery. The dashcam footage shows the aftermath: flashing lights, a silent building, chaos replacing the usual music. The ride's design prioritized guest flow, not employee safety. Hostesses worked on the edge of danger, their training inadequate for the risks. The accident was a tragedy waiting to happen, an oversight in a place where safety should have been paramount. The dashcam marks the end of Deborah's life, and the start of a reckoning for Disneyland. It's a brutal reminder, even the happiest places are built on unforgiving machinery. Deborah's death unfolded in plain sight, her screams mistaken for part of the show. America Sings was loud, filled with music and animatronic voices, a real scream blended into the spectacle. Some guests heard something off, a scream that cut through the noise, a glimpse of someone trapped. But confusion reigned. By the time staff realized the truth, it was too late. The ride completed its rotation, and the machinery had done its work. Staff frantically searched, only to discover Deborah's body in the gears. The delay wasn't negligence, but disbelief. No one imagined the attraction itself could kill. Disney's mastery of immersive experience masked the horror, turning real tragedy into background noise. Deborah's final moments were lost in the show, her cries drowned by the fantasy. It's a chilling lesson. The line between performance and reality can be fatally thin. Even magic can hide a nightmare. The discovery of Deborah Stone's body sent shockwaves through Disneyland. America Sings shut down instantly, its marquee now a grim reminder. Cast members, a close-knit community, were devastated, their sense of safety shattered. Guests saw emergency vehicles and abrupt closures, the illusion of happiness punctured. For those who heard the screams or saw the chaos, the trauma was real and lasting. Deborah's hometown mourned. Her death was front-page news, a local tragedy that resonated deeply. Disneyland, usually a symbol of joy, was forced to confront its own vulnerability. Tomorrowland fell silent, the building dark, a stark contrast to its usual energy. The park paused, reflecting on the price of entertainment and the violation of trust. Even in a place built on dreams, reality can intrude with devastating force. After Deborah's death, Disneyland and Cal OSHA launched a full investigation. The verdict: the ride's design was fatally flawed, the narrow, unprotected gap, a lethal hazard. America Sings closed for just 3 days, reopening with urgent safety fixes. Warning lights and alarms were installed to alert staff before the theater rotated. Most importantly, breakaway walls replaced the solid panels. Now, if someone was trapped, the wall would give way. These changes were simple but vital, ensuring the accident could never be repeated. The investigation exposed a troubling truth. Safety had been an afterthought. The focus was on spectacle, not on protecting those behind the scenes. The tragedy became a harsh lesson for Disney and the industry. Even the most magical attractions must be grounded in safety. The quick reopening felt like an attempt to move past the tragedy, but the lesson lingered. Deborah Stone's parents filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Disneyland, seeking accountability for unsafe conditions. The case was settled out of court for a modest sum, no public trial, no official blame assigned. Disneyland managed the fallout quietly, avoiding a damaging legal battle. For the Stone family it was closure, but likely an inadequate one. The story faded into internal lore, whispered warnings among cast members. There was no public memorial, no plaque, just silence. This approach, common among corporations, felt especially profound in a place built on memory. Today, such a quiet settlement would be unthinkable. The demand for transparency is far greater. The silence became part of the story, a testament to the desire to preserve the illusion of perfection. Deborah Gail Stone's death was a turning point for theme park safety. Breakaway walls and warning systems became industry standards, forcing designers to consider employee safety as much as guest experience. America Sings ran for 14 more years. Its animatronics were repurposed, but Deborah's story was largely left behind. Today her story lives online, a case study in occupational safety and a somber piece of Disney lore. Every new safety feature honors her legacy, a reminder that real people work behind the magic. Deborah's life was full of promise, cut short by a preventable tragedy. Her story forces us to look past the fantasy and see the reality, and the changes her death inspired have saved lives. In that, her tragic end found purpose, ensuring the song of safety is never ignored again.